have the one and only Southern Hummingbird, my mom, Tweet, here with me. Hey, mom. Let's go to the beginning. Everybody kind of knows Missy was your guardian angel. Mm-hmm. She signed you. We went out there and you were working on some backgrounds with her. I remember you on tour with her. Mm-hmm. Signed, did Oops. We'll come back to that. But what I want to ask you now is, do you feel underappreciated in the industry as an artist?
It doesn't even matter. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes it may feel like, man, they didn't, or this, but it doesn't matter to me. You understand what I'm saying? It's not that important to be important to people or this industry. I don't. Well,
I feel like you are. I feel like you're one of the most underappreciated, underrated artists that has come out since the 2000s from Southern Hummingbird. A lot of people don't know Charlene. They don't know Simply Tweet.
But see, that's not feeling unappreciated. That's not having a good team or a label that did their job right or something like that.
Okay, so tell us that story. From Southern Hummingbird to It's Me Again, what was the disconnect? Because I remember you shooting a video to Smoking Cigarettes, and it was Boogie the Night in the beginning of it. You had a whole rollout with the it was like a drug campaign connected to it.
What was that? It was a smoking
campaign. I remember.
Yeah, what was it? It'll come to me. But yeah, we did that in Canada. Little X shot the video. It was a dope video, and I really don't understand. To this day, I really don't know the reason. But I do know it had something to do with Elektra transforming or turning into Atlantic.
Yeah, people don't know when labels be merging, the artists get either shelved, dropped, or if you're not putting out. And Atlantic is still more hip hop. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, because of the success of Oops, tried to push you in a narrative
that I was a hip hop artist because they only pushed those singles like Call Me and Oops. I'm not
and that wasn't the artist that you were. And I think you got caught in a merge and was misunderstood. And people didn't know what to do with you.
No, because everybody that worked on that project, on It's Me Again, from Sylvia Rowan down, was gone.
Love Sylvia.
Yes, love you, love you, love you.
She's the GOAT.
Yeah, so I got caught in the whirlwind of, we need to, and I even compromised that second album. They was like, we need more. Because I did a whole album. The album was dope. Some of the songs you can see and hear on YouTube where people have taken it off my some of my Instagrams or whatever. But I went in and did some hip hop stuff. Like Missy did a couple of more. So I took off some of mine and put on some what they wanted, and they still didn't
market it the way that
they didn't do anything. I compromised that, and they didn't do anything. No hard feelings, you know what I mean? But that's how the business is.
Yeah, you still working, still booked and busy.
Yeah. But that led me into that 10-year hiatus where I was like, I'm not doing this.
We're going to get into that too. I want to ask you this question before we dive into more personal stuff, just as a consumer, because I'm a big fan, even outside of being your daughter. I've watched you grow. I've watched you compromise. I watch you sacrifice. I watch you lose it all and get it back. What would Tweet now, the legend, the icon, tell the new artist Tweet?
No, I'm just saying. To don't give up. Go back in that meeting and fight for your career.
Wow.
Get up. Because I let a lot of people have control or take control over stuff that I could have had a voice and spoke up on. Yeah. But I let a lot of people talk for me and do this for me. And, because I didn't know. I didn't really want to be. I got thrown into the fire. Missy was like, because I played Motel for her and I played all these records that I had written. She was like, oh, nah.
It was divine timing. You can't stop what God had already ordained for you.
You're right.
You're created for that. Right. But I do feel like back in that day, the industry was so different in the work that you had to put in. I've seen my mom literally sit at, where were we at, either Sam Ask or one of those record stores, this is when album rollouts, you had to go on CD signings
and sign
every single, every album. Go to 106 and Park, go to TRL. The work ethic that I grew up under watching was totally different. How do you think that has affected legacy artists? Because I don't like to call artists from your era old because I don't like to call y'all washed up. Very much booked. Okay. Tours and all of them. Absolutely. But how do you view the way the music industry has changed? Do you think that it's good, or?
I mean, it's good for this era, like, because I just still believe in artist development, so it's different. Like, if they had been coming up when we came out, they would have had to go through artist development and learn how to do this and do that.
But media training,
absolutely. But I remember we used to have to sit in the studio like this and do like 100 interviews back to back, like this.
Mock interviews?
No, people call in, phone interviews, or walk in like 100 a day, like for 3 days straight. That's doing crazy. All the interviews, knocking them out. God. Then you turn around, you got to do 4 photo, shoots and stuff like that. So it was different.
What I think it take away from, I think one thing that maybe died down a little bit after your era was longevity. I think a lot of the times people want to be famous like right now, and they don't have the tools to sustain a 10-year career because they're not even putting that thought in, even in the music that they're creating. Because they're not thinking about 10 years from now. They're thinking, I want to put out a single right now and pop right now so I can get a couple $100 million in followers to sustain my living right now. But that's one great thing about you and the generation that you come from. Like, y'all are still able to go sing Oops and Call Me and records from 10, 20 years ago and still be booked, and people still want to see you. People still get excited when that beat drop and they hear Missy. Because longevity was something that you created for generations instead of a moment.
Wanted to do timeless music that you can play, like Frankie Beverly and Maze can tour forever on one album, for sure. However many albums they did, but they're still on tour.
Facts.
You know what I mean? They don't have to even be on social media or stuff like that. You want to be an artist like that. Like, yeah.
That's dope. Okay, we're about to get into the smoke. So we're going to get a little bit deeper. My first question is, what was the most difficult part about pursuing music and being a mom?
Having to leave you at times and not being able to show up for some of the most important days. Like, I remember you was Mrs. Claus. You played Mrs. Claus in a play, and I was so sad that I couldn't come back. Seeing the video or the pictures of you, and I was like, I was hurt that I couldn't be there for you. So that's the bad part about, having a career and being a mom. Yeah. Missing those days.
Yeah, because for the longest, I did not like my mom.
At all.
I hated her. I couldn't, I think because I was in my own pain, and I was so focused on being hurt and wanting you, because after those plays, I would see my friends run up to their moms, or back then you could have your mom come eat lunch with you. Right. And my grandmother, older at the time, a missionary in church, she didn't care about, she wanted to get the neck bones on the table. Right. She didn't care about coming to, so I think as a little girl growing up, like, where's your mom? This is my mom. And having to process, I don't know what she's doing on the road. She's gone. I don't know what's going on. And for the longest, I didn't even know you were recording an album. You didn't tell us you had got signed. You didn't tell us anything. I remember doing my algebra homework and 106 in Park, and AJ was like, new joint of the day, Missy's new artist, tweet. And I was like, excuse me? I get up, I'm running outside, grandma, my mom. Like, I didn't know what was happening. And our lives changed after that. And it never dawned on me that you were making a decision to better our lives. And I never thought about your perspective and how hard it was for you to be away from me. Until I had kids. And now I'm facing those same decisions, and it's a hard space to be in, Like, do I leave so I can make the money to take care of them, or do I stay here and not be able to provide for them the way that I want to? It's such a hard decision to make as a mother.
It is. But I knew I had to. I knew that I was, like you said, called. I had a feeling that I needed to do this to make a better life for you and my grandkids. And, just for my mom and dad. I just wanted better for all of us.
Yeah.
So I took that leap of faith and did what I needed to do.
Take me to one of the darkest spaces that you were in the industry. Like after you sign, after your tweet, after the album comes out. Like I remember as a child just seeing you not always happy, even when the money was coming in, even when you had the cars and stuff like that. So what made me realize, like, Dag, she can still have what it seems like to be everything and still be in a place of pain. Like,
yeah, I mean, the industry still has their stuff where if you're not light enough, if you're not, so I dealt with that a lot of
colorism.
Yeah, I didn't get this part because I remember I auditioned to be in this big movie. They loved me, but then I found out I wasn't light enough for the movie.
What?
Yeah, the dark times were that, or not feeling appreciated, or not appreciated, but supported in my decisions. And like if I wanted this song to come out, but they chose this song, things like that. Yeah.
Deeper question. Did you ever feel like you tried with me and did you ever feel like rejected?
Absolutely, because I think I tried. You talking about as far as music or mom
Me.
and mom and you and
Mm-hmm.
me. I tried to buy your love one time, and I really wanted to be there. I remember when I moved to Atlanta the first time, and then you came to move with me. And you went to this school, and I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but we went shopping, you and some of your friends. You was like, Mom, we want to go to the mall. I was like, all right. So I was taking y'all to the mall, and I remember hearing you say this to the people with you. He's like, watch this. I'm going to make her get me some sneakers. And I was like, oh, okay.
I said that?
Yeah, you did that. You did that. And I went into the bathroom when I got home, and I was so sad. I was like, she really don't understand, and it wasn't your place to understand because you was a child when all of this happened. But I knew you were angry, and I just kept loving you through it,
I remember when you moved to Atlanta, and at that time I had just turned 16, so I'm able to date now. I had me a little boyfriend. I had just had the flyest Sweet 16 in the city.
That I did.
Yeah, you
Thank
did that, girl.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in the stage of like really finding my friend circle, and I was just in my zone. And you came and decided, okay, I'm not working right now, so I'm moving to Atlanta. You're coming with me. So I never really felt like I had a say in the matter.
You didn't have a choice? You felt like?
I felt like, Dag, like now she want me to move with her. She been gone and working all this time. And when I got to Atlanta, I just remember getting up, like feeling like I was walking on eggshells in the house. I remember I used to ask you, is it okay if I get something to drink? Like just trying to, I think we both were trying to figure out our dynamic, and it was tough.
But what you didn't know is that I needed you.
Wow.
Because I was going through, I was depressed really bad. That's when I was smoking and drinking. That's right before the church.
I remember.
Thing.
Yeah.
But I was drinking and smoking. You remember in the not bathroom, but the kitchen used to be bottles of
I remember.
Just on top of the...
I remember seeing certain episodes. I remember, and before I lose my point, back to your point, I think I had developed this... It's too late to love her because I don't really feel like I know her.
Right.
But at least she's buying me stuff. So I became like a user. Like I know my mama we were shopping every week. You were buying me Gucci and bought me a car, paid my college and all this other stuff. So I'm like, maybe that's our relationship. Maybe that's the dynamic that we're gonna have because I don't know her like that. I know my mom as a provider.
Right.
And I was comfortable with that because my father, I had a different dynamic with him. I felt like
what was that?
I feel like you married music and he married the church. And for you, it was just like I never really felt never knew how to figure out the love or
where
make
the
it
love
tangible,
was.
where it
You
was.
didn't
Like, does
understand.
my mom really
Who's
love
your
me?
grandma?
Yeah, it's through her money. That's how I'm able to feel like she loved me, and and I was hurting too.
Right.
But I will say, I think over time we figured it out.
Yeah.
I made some mistakes along the way, and what made me realize your love language was you just being there. Like, you missed a lot, but Atlanta, I made up for it because I made some mistakes along the way, and you were always there. Like, no matter what I needed, and I stopped having my hand out and I opened my heart, and I was just like, she can love me but still be a provider, and I don't have to abuse her ability to provide for me. So I think Atlanta was healing for both of us.
For both of us, yep.
And we didn't realize it at the time.
Didn't, but we needed it. Like I said, I needed you, and then just that whole Bishop Weeks and the church.
Oh my goodness,
that was such a healing experience for us, and I think that was a stage for us to go on.
Yeah, for sure.
Move on, you know what I mean? That was definitely needed for us.
Yeah, I feel like over time we've gotten it. We haven't always gotten it right. Still to this day, we have disconnects because I still have to. I think sometimes I throw certain things in your face.
You do, you do,
and I think it's more so about a perspective, like being able to give you space to still feel like. And I think sometimes I'm selfish. Because the ideal of a grandmother is, I got kids and you're supposed to be a grandma. Here's your grandkids.
No,
and I
think
outside.
It was. I think it was more so at first, especially when Aiden was born. There you go. Now you get.
Yes, it was that for sure. Here's payback, and you have to do and be what grandma was to me, and see that pain that I felt. But I had to realize, like, I'm not. It's not my job to punish you because your absence.
It didn't hurt.
Yeah, you weren't an absent mother because you were on drugs or you didn't want to do for me. Your absence was to better our life, and I'm grateful because I'm still able to depend on you when I need you and things like that. Man, I don't know. This conversation can go so many different ways.
Long and longer.
Yeah, but I want to let's talk about Atlanta.
Okay.
Transition into a 10-year hiatus you went through. After going from everything to moving to Atlanta, having a decent life, to losing it all. What was your thought process in?
I was lost. I didn't know. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I had started going to church. We were going to church.
Yeah, we were in church still. Yeah.
I think that was a test. For me, because I had put all my faith and trust in God, and I was like, found out my accountants were doing some shady stuff. That's how everything happened. Accountants was taking money, doing all that stuff, you know. And I was like, oh man, what am I do? You know, I prayed this prayer like, I need you to do what you said you're gonna do. And the next day, I went to the P.O. box, and it was a huge check.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Were you ready to be a first lady?
I was a first lady.
Period, Pooh.
No, this was before that. Your father was a preacher.
Yeah. So is it safe to say you could see yourself?
Nope.
No.
No.
I can't imagine you being a first lady, but you were, and that's the thing. So before we get out of here, what is something that you've learned now balancing motherhood and grandmother?
Let me just say that the love I love my child. I love you. But grandmothers and grandfathers, grandparents will say the same statement. The love for a grandchild is another level of love. You know how love have different levels. It's like this love that is just
keep it cute,
it's
because
different.
I've been looking at nursing home pamphlets. So
girl, you don't have to worry about that. You ain't put me in no nursing home.
No, but you are an amazing grandma.
I know.
Seeing how you love them, and it kind of heals the little girl in me, because I'm like, she does have the ability to, love a little bit. I be thinking things, girl. I don't tell you everything.
I'm the mean.
No, because you were mean at times, and I don't know if it was.
I'm just stern. My mean is not mean.
You
it's
would
just
come
stern.
home and speak to me, but I realized it wasn't.
It wasn't you.
Me. It was what you were going through at the time.
Yeah, how do you know? You don't know what I had to deal with on an everyday basis. Being a single mother, divorced mother, dealing with this industry, going through what I went through, yeah. I'm human. I had times when I had to check somebody or do something like that. You know what I mean? That's my younger years. I'm older now. I'm seasoned.
Anybody that's a celebrity kid, there's different levels. Like, I'm sure P. Diddy's kids they probably experience some of what I experienced, but their life is totally
It's different. It's different for
Be patient
everybody.
with your parent.
Yeah, I would say that, but it's different for everybody because everybody don't have P. Diddy money.
Exactly.
Everybody don't have this. It's different for everybody. I just say love on each other.
Yes.
And forgive each other daily because you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. So just do that. Just walk in love at all times.
Yeah, well, this is the first episode of Famous. I'm so excited for you guys to tune in. Thank you, Mom, for coming and being a part of this. We're out.